Good evening. I'm Chris Berg. Thanks so much for joining us. Congressman Kevin Cramer is going to join us in just a few moments live from D.C. to talk about a possible government shutdown and what it means for you and your family. We start tonight, though, by talking about your safety and security versus amnesty for illegal immigrants. That's the topic for tonight's point of view. Now, right now, as we head towards a government shutdown, the Democrats, in D.C. are saying they will not vote to keep the government open and fully fund our military unless there's the deal for the Dreamers, for the DACA people. That has to be included in Friday's budget showdown. So basically what's happening is they're choosing illegal immigrants over you and your family's safety and security. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. All of us remember this video as of late from when a person sent out a false missile alert in Hawaii. These people very rightly were freaked out because they realized that right now there is a very real possibility for them to go through something like this with everything that's going on in the world, that North Korea could actually attempt a possible missile attack on the islands of Hawaii. You see the footage, at least I do, and I'm hoping you feel the same way. You start to wonder, how would I have felt if I would have been in Hawaii and I would have received this fake missile alert? I'm assuming many of us would have freaked out as well. And just to give you an idea on how top of mind this whole North Korea missile threat is for many of us, this morning I was on my morning show. We showed you this video here in the morning. It's a media shower over Michigan. So this is a media shower, yet the person that I was talking about with this said if they would have been driving along and seen this happen, their first instinct, their first thought when they saw this flash that you just saw a moment ago, they would have thought it was a missile. They would have went, oh my gosh, someone's attacking us. That's a missile. That's how real this threat is to many of us right now in the United States of America. And yet, the Democrats are choosing amnesty over your safety and security. I want to share with you just how serious this is for you and your family. Right now, our military is literally in a crisis, and they need the appropriate funding to make sure they can adequately protect and serve you and your family. According to recent data, 70% of our Marine Corps F-18 Hornets and CH-53 helicopters can't even fly right now. 50% of our Navy F-18 Super Hornets, they can't fly either. Our Air Force is 2,000 pilots short, according to the Secretary of the Air Force, Heather Wilson, and our Army is at its lowest level in 30 years. And because of the lack of funding for our troops, for our military, our troops aren't getting the kind of training they need and deserve right now. So much so that in the last 3 years, we've had 4 times as many service members die in training exercises than in actual combat. That is stunning. In fact, here's what the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Senator John McCain, said recently on the Senate floor.
Every one of our leaders, military in uniform, has said, because of what we've done with the so-called sequestration, has put the lives of our service members at greater risk.
So just to be clear, you've got the Democrats right now in D.C. putting our service members' lives, you just heard it right there, people that are willing to pay the ultimate sacrifice for you and I and our freedoms. So these people and I are putting our service members' lives at risks for people that aren't even U.S. citizens. They're illegal immigrants, and yet they're insisting on including them in a budget deal for our military, for our government, rather than just do a separate DACA deal that would be kind of a immigration deal as a whole. I mean, even our president has said, look, I want to get a deal done on DACA. I want to get a deal done on Dreamers. And yet the people on the Democrat side of the aisle in D.C., they want to hold this whole thing up for illegal immigrants versus our military. Just take a moment and let that sit in for you. You got to start to ask yourself, why in the world would Democrats want to shut down the government and put illegal immigrants, put their needs over your family's safety and security? And there's really only 2 reasons. One, simply, bottom line is power. By getting a DACA deal done, the Democrats increase their voting base to ultimately give them more power. This is not about compassion for the Dreamers. This is about power. Don't fool yourself. Also, I want to talk about the second reason is that their base right now is telling them, look, you have to get this DACA deal in this budget deal because it's the only leverage you're going to have. Remember, President Trump, he ran and won on a very tough immigration stance. This is really the one thing that's separated from all the other candidates. So he's not going to give up on saying, hey, look, I'm going to stay strong on immigration. Bottom line is that this is the battle. This is the war right now. And the question is, who's going to blink? Who's going to back down? Is Trump and the GOP, are they going to blink? Are they going to back down on saying, hey, we got to fund the military? Or are the Democrats going to say, you know what? No, I have to do what's right for illegal immigrants over our military. It is shocking what's going on right now in D.C., but that is where we're at. And the thing you got to understand is that last time there was a shutdown in 2013, the GOP actually picked up seats in 2014. And we're going to talk more about that next with Congressman Kevin Cramer. So be sure and stay with us. Later in the show, we're going to talk about what a big box store is doing to help with the opioid crisis that we face. As I just mentioned a moment ago, Congressman Cramer is going to join us live from Washington, D.C. to talk about the government shutdown and much, much more right after this.